So morning yogis, just settling onto your mats in whatever way you want to start, seated, lying down, whichever you choose. And just take a few breaths. Let's use our breath to center ourselves into this moment. Nice deep inhale and a nice slow exhalation. And just take 2 or 3 breaths like this, the breath down into the belly, feeling the movement into the chest. Slow exhale, maybe even a sigh as you exhale. And a lovely little quote I found reading something was, just breathing makes us feel safe and relaxed to be in this moment. Something like that. I'll have to find it. But just that sense of taking a few deep conscious inhales and exhales brings us to a point of feeling safe in the present moment. And I thought that was quite interesting. How the breath, that deep breath, makes us safe. And so also have a moment to ground your energies, either through your tailbone, feet, back of the body, whatever resonates. Deep breaths. What's your intention for your practice today? Or what's your intention for the day? Quite often what comes to mind for me, just without thinking too much, is that I want to draw beauty and joy in. And when I think that way, then the law of attraction does attract it. Setting that little intention for all things joyful, all things beautiful, for you to see that. Another day you might see other things that you haven't intentionally put out there. So we're in late summer and we're working with earth element. So this is spleen and stomach, the meridians that resonate with this sort of time of year, this season. Colour yellow also resonates. And so just coming into this space. When you're ready, we're going to come up for Zazen. If you're lying down, just begin to hug the knees in. And there's no rush. Just take a moment to rock and enjoy this little massage on your spine. If you're already seated and you just want to roll the shoulders, roll the neck, and just come into feeling the body for a few moments before we sit quietly. So whether we've had a very busy summer or not, when we come into this kind of early September, it's quite nice just to sort of slow down a bit. So today we're just going to sit. No counting, no mantras, nothing. We're just going to sit, be with our thoughts. Of course, maybe just use the breath to come back when the mind wanders off, as it often will. But just sort of being the witness to the thoughts that come through and meander through our mind and tangent off, and just coming back to the gap between thoughts and the witness to them. But we're just going to sit and have some silence. So just relax, close the eyes, Dhyana Mudra. Let's just be. observing your thoughts and just really aware of the gap between them. Just witnessing what's going on. Just a few more breaths. And just coming back. So just gently notice how that practice felt. I think quite often when we haven't got a focus or a mantra and we're just sitting with our thoughts, the mind can be very busy. It can be that monkey mind. Imagine a monkey jumping from branch to branch. Thoughts, maybe many thoughts, maybe, oh, I must do that later. I mustn't forget that. And then you kind of come back to, hang on, I'm thinking about the fact that I must do that later. And then you're almost like that dangling monkey. It's not moving, you're just aware of it and it's still. And then that's where the gap between the thoughts starts to emerge. And then maybe the next thought is, okay, what should we have for dinner? You catch yourself, okay, I'm thinking about that. I'm witnessing my thought of, right, what should I have for dinner? And so this practice, we grow and we develop. It doesn't all happen at once. It's that observation of the mind and just training it bit by bit every time, just to have those short, even if it's a millisecond of stillness between thought, observation of thought, next thought coming in. So I always find it quite curious when we have that quiet time of nothing, no thing to focus on. So just my thoughts for the day on meditation. Sharing, because we're all human and our mind is, the nature of the mind is to think. So it is doing what it's supposed to do. We're going to start with caterpillar today. So just coming into a lovely seated forward fold. Just pull out the buttocks so that the sit bones connect. If you want a little small blanket rolled under the knees, you can. Otherwise, we're just going to soften into this one. Noticing what you're feeling without any judgment, expectation. Let the legs relax. And noticing what you're feeling, whether you're really tight, it might be dependent on other things you've been doing recently. So let's explore what our body wants to do. And as we just try to find this pose, relaxing all elements, softening through the legs, as you naturally breathe, you might notice that the upper body and the head just sort of lifts ever so slightly with this pose, and that's absolutely fine. That inhale and exhale gives the opportunity to move and soften very naturally into this. Allows us to soften the neck and the head. Keep checking in around the knees, whether there's tension there that you can let go. And observing the breath in your belly. Natural breaths. And although we call this caterpillar in Yin, in the Hatha version, the active version of this pose, Paschimottanasana, Paschima means relating to the back of the body. It actually means east. So the east of our body when we would practice. So the whole entire rear facing of our body is stretched and targeted here. A lovely pose that you may not just feel in your back or neck. It's everywhere, whole back of the body, backs of the legs. And just allowing yourself to soften a little bit more. How does this pose feel for you today? This bowing down, a lovely surrender, teaching us in life when we surrender to a situation or a problem, often it resolves so much more quickly and easily than when we're resisting, challenged heavily by something. So we'll take one more breath. And nice and slowly coming up. And even as you just lift up millimeters, noticing the feeling that you get through the backs of the legs, the release. And then as we come into neutral, just enjoying how it feels through the spine. Really slow, conscious movement down. Nice sigh on the way down. And some deep breaths. Enjoying what you're feeling in your body. Nourishing breath into the belly and the chest. And just noticing again your thoughts. Can you relax your legs and buttocks a bit more? Is there still a little bit of tension here? Feeling safe and supported. And then when you're ready, let's just have a hug in, right and left knee. Our next pose will come into twisted roots. Just have a moment here just to enjoy relaxing a little bit more through the spine, a few circles. Taking care of ourselves. So twisted roots. I always like a couple of supports. Certainly one for the knee. I'm just going to use the knee one today, but if you want another little cushion for your opposite shoulder, then that's great too. So coming down, bring that left leg over the right. If you need a little bit more padding and comfort as you rotate on the hip and the side of the body, please do use whatever you've got around you. And then coming into this lovely twist to whatever degree you want to. Arms can be wherever you want them to be. Placing the head where is comfortable for you as well. Try and relax. Certainly that initial tension, the inner thighs, tops of the legs. Notice whether it's easy to relax into this one today. Sometimes it can take a good few minutes to soften into this one, really relaxing the inner thighs, buttocks, the groin area. Other times you can just simply make this shape and everything is soft. Noticing the difference sometimes when that happens. What are you holding in your own body when the body feels quite tight? Where are we resisting life or resisting situations? And other times when we're going with the flow, the body may feel really quite open and free. And then observing the breath. And if you want to close your eyes, if you haven't already, just tuning in. And just going inward, regardless of all the noise or anything going on around you. Taking observation inwards. If you're using props, maybe you can consider moving them or adjusting. Notice if the stretch is more open now. Keep relaxing. Be passive. Lovely for liver and gallbladder, this pose. Nice deep breaths. We'll take one more deep breath and gently coming out. Nice and slowly, really listen to how your body wants to move. And just take neutral pose. Just staying with your body, ignoring everything else. Just feeling whatever you feel. And then when you're ready, let's bring our knees in for a little hug. Noticing again how this feels through the body. And we'll come into the other side. So with knees bent, bringing the right leg over left and lifting perhaps, or just rolling the body over, coming into twisted roots this side. Using whatever props you need to. You might feel very different this side. Try and relax, really try and relax the inner thighs, the buttocks, lower back. Relaxing calf muscles behind the knees. Softening shoulders. Relaxing your face. And just noticing where you're feeling this. Whether it's a lovely stretch through the right side of the body or lower back. Lovely deep breaths. Tuning into your solar plexus above your navel, the center that relates to action, motivation, courage and self-worth. And our upper digestion, encouraging a nice balance here. Keep trying to relax any area that you feel tight. And awareness on lovely deep breaths. Can you relax your wrists and arms as well? Sometimes you might find tension just creeps in. How do you feel on all levels? So let's just take a lovely deep breath. Enjoy the breath in the body. And gently, in your own time, just rolling out of this one into neutral. And letting everything just realign. Tuning into the after effects from that stretch. And just identifying where you most feel it. Softening through your neck and face. Breathing to your belly. And then we'll take our knees in. Enjoying gentle rock. And hugging knees in higher to the chest if you need to, just to target different areas of the back. So we're going to swing up and come into swan today. So quite a deep stretch into the legs. I like to use a pillow, so if you've got one handy, we're going to bring the right knee forwards, left leg is extended behind, and cushioned for the buttock, just so that the hips can remain quite level, and you can just release any kind of need for supporting with muscles. So only holding this pose as long as you want to as well. At any time you need to come out of a pose, please always do. It's nice to start upright with this one. Feel gentle curve into the lower back. Starting to relax the right inner thigh, calf muscle. Feeling that stretch develop in the buttock and leg. And then whenever you're ready, you can stay upright if you want to, or coming down onto elbows, or all the way down, forehead down, just depending on where you want to be today. And if you've got a block, you can use a little block for the head and just try and take some tension out of the neck. And then just gently breathe into this. Notice if your belly and the front abdominal muscles are tight. As you start to relax them, the stretch may deepen a lot more. And deep breaths, noticing if you like this pose today or don't like it, or whether it's just something your body really needs. Where are you holding tension still? Keep looking. Check in with your shoulders and your head and neck, and either let the head hang or again use a block, maybe lower the level of the block. Relax more into the head and neck. Checking in with the breath and the abdominal muscles. How is this pose starting to feel? Is it getting easier, or are you really feeling it even more? Relaxing the front of your body and all the muscles in the chest and belly. And we'll take one more deep breath. Gently coming out. So that was about 4 minutes today in that one. Have a moment just to come onto your back. Releasing out. Some days that feels really easy, other days challenging. Today was a challenging one on that one. Really deep stretch. So as we lie here, just enjoying a few conscious breaths, keeping us in this present moment, this now. And I know a lot of us can have quite busy minds. The mind is always thinking, wandering off. Sometimes it's quite nice just to come back to the breath and just say in and out in your mind. In, out. And just saying those words in and out brings you back to your breath and just creates a little bit of space. Space between thoughts. That gap that we talk about. So when you're ready, let's hug in. We're going to come into the other side where the left knee will be forwards and the right leg back. Have a few moments here, just stretch where you need to. Notice if you're feeling differently through the backs of your thighs, the muscles there, the hamstrings, whether the quads feel different from just that first side. And then coming up, again, take your time to come into this. There's no rush. Being body conscious just as we move through, as we come into a pose, the way we're moving our legs and limbs. Placing any support you want. And gradually finding your way into this pose. So checking in with the mental dialogue. Do you like this pose today? If you do, or if you don't, and why? And whenever you're ready in your own time, just adjusting, coming down, or staying upright. Whatever feels right for you. I'm just here to suggest, whereas you know your own bodies, you know what you might need today. Relaxing where you can. And as the body starts to relax, just softening through the abdominal wall at the front of the body, which can get very tense when we're holding a pose that is quite deep. Try and relax your face, shoulders and arms as much as you can. Notice if you're pushing out your belly. Where are you feeling this most? Is it a deep, intense inner stretch in the left buttock or left inner thigh? Is it the hip crease on the left leg? Relaxing belly. Can you feel yourself soften even more? Can you feel that point at which the pose almost surrenders a little bit? There's a shift. And we'll take one last breath in this one. And gently, mindfully coming out, enjoying that lovely release. Moving with consciousness and slowness. Let's come down. As you roll yourself down to the mat, how do you feel? What comes into mind? Is there a lovely feeling of release and rest and peacefulness? Where you're at one with your body and your mind and your breath. And spiritually you feel connected on all layers. Really quite blissful. Even if it's fleeting moments that you feel this, it's lovely. And those blissful moments are just like we're returning home to that true soul essence that we are, that we were born into, beyond our social conditioning, our cultural conditioning, our programming from our elders, that true essence. And so just breathing that feeling in. Even thinking of the word bliss, what does that conjure up for you? What does that make you feel like when you say these beautiful words, bliss? So let's hug our knees in. We're going to come into bench. So a really quite nice restful pose after a few strong ones today. So roll up, grab your cushion. And we're going to take a lovely rest back here. Placing your cushion wherever you want to. I always take it a little bit further away from the back. And then just come down. You might want to adjust it. So whatever you usually do, you might find that today it has to just go in a different position for your neck and your back and your spine. Just come into this pose, feel supported, let the legs relax outwards, arms and shoulders softened, and just let yourself be completely supported. How are you feeling here? If your mind is busy and it really is just jumping everywhere, just come to saying in and out with your breath in your mind. So in, out. In, out. And really follow your breath. If you want to, only if the mind is busy. Just a suggestion. Notice your breath. Be completely connected to each breath. Following the gentle movement of your body. And just feeling a lot of love as we open our heart here. And this is always a wonderful opportunity to entertain the idea of forgiveness. It's not necessarily to forgive, but just entertaining the idea starts that ball rolling. Anything that anyone ever said to you, did to you, made you feel uncomfortable. Letting it go with love, forgive it. Sometimes when I come back to the idea that often people are victims of victims and don't know any better themselves. They're unconscious to their acts. So the act of forgiving and not holding it within yourself is so lovely for you. Lovely open heart. Some things may take a while, a lot of chipping away, but just entertaining the idea is what starts it. How does your body feel? Does it feel nourished here? Comfortable? Again, that blissful state. And finding some space in your mind. There are some gaps. You might have moments where there is no mind, no thought, no thing. So when you're ready, let's just take one more breath, lifting up ever so slowly, pulling the cushion away. Let's just come down for a few breaths just to feel before we relax. Feeling nourished, feeling energized, replenished, all these words. Notice what comes to mind. And then when you're ready, just choosing where you want to take the last part of our practice, seated or lying down. Have a few moments to rock. Nice stretch through the back. And then coming up or lying down still, pulling a blanket over, supporting knees, whatever is feeling right for you. So as you lie there, just relax the body, relax all the muscles. Have that image of your muscles releasing their grip on the bones. Softening face, head and neck, all the way down the front of the body, back of the body. Shoulders and arms, legs down to feet. And I came across a little quote this morning which really resonated with me. I understand it, but it's sometimes the way words are put together is quite lovely. So we're just going to have some quiet time and think of this. The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. So as we contemplate that, the idea that what we do day to day, our thoughts, our actions are all producing a future for us. So if we're eating well, drinking and staying hydrated, moving our body in a healthy way, that's creating our future self. If we choose perhaps not so supportive actions and thoughts, again, how that can create a different future. And the idea of this is to contemplate it without judgment or blame for self or anything in a negative way, and just thinking about the actions that you take today, whether you observe, rest, speak your truth, eat well, drink well, connect with loved ones and nourish connections and friendships. Lots of little things that we can task our day with can create lovely relationships, a healthy body, a healthy mind. So just leaving with you some thoughts. So when you're ready, whatever thoughts have come to mind, any inspiration, just welcoming whatever thoughts, and just taking a few deep breaths, either where you're sitting or lying. That breath that brings us back to now, that makes us feel safe. And that little quote that I mentioned earlier is, when you consciously slow down and deepen your breath, you are letting your body know that it is okay to trust the present moment. When you consciously slow down and deepen your breath, you are letting your body know that it is okay to trust this present moment. That was the quote, the actual words. So when you're ready, we can just begin now to move fingers and toes. And gently come back into your day, having thought maybe about little daily routines that you have that create our future. So gently move. If you're lying down, you can hug the knees in. If you're seated, just maybe some soft cat-cow flexes. Feeling your body again, being in this present moment. And then rolling up to seated. Feeling good. Peaceful, blissful. The heart is open. Take a deep breath. Draw your hands together. Om Shanti. Namaste.